who am I?
Yeah.
And so I love to be asked it in this context
Yes.
because what I can truly say is who I am is still in progress. I am a work in progress, and I hope it's going to stay that way.
In you. You looked me in the eyes and you said, KK, I believe in you. I trust in your work. My question is, I was actually telling Ian the other day, I said, she looked at me and she said, my question is, are you ready?
You are what you do and who you do it for.
Again,
Who you are, what you do, and who you do it for.
Hey. Dumelang babogedi. Hello everyone and welcome to Conversations with K. We are on our 4th episode, and what a way to do it than have a woman of virtue. Our title is Who Am I as a Woman? And today I have the media strategist, the Mafia Boss. Hey, now you're going to hear a lot from her. I've learned so much from her, and it has really been amazing for me to just indulge all the information that she has to give, all the knowledge, her heart. She gives out her heart. And I thought, what a better way? Why not share it with my viewers? Ladies and gentlemen, I will move it over to her to introduce herself. Welcome on studio, Marie.
KK, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you. And what a thrill to see your show just taking off and to be part of it. I'm just over the moon.
Yes, and you've been such a great support. Like, viewers, for me to be sitting here, she's one of the people that have been behind this, like saying, KK, you've got to do something about this. So whatever that you're going to receive from her today, please be ready. Have your pens ready, have your papers ready, have your minds ready, have your mindset ready to be changed, because I know she's had such a great impact in my life. And I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here. I'm growing. Part of that growing is because of you. And my invitation for me to invite you is because I want the rest of the world to receive what I receive when I'm sitting with you. So I really hope that you understand that part. So
I was saying earlier, I understand why there are tissues on the table. I suppose she's going to make me cry. We're getting there already. But that is great advice, because if you do what KK has done with the things we've discussed, with the things you learned today, big things can happen, and you've been demonstrating that, and that is just the best thing there is. I think anytime that we do any kind of work, it's satisfying in its own right, but when we see people implement it and see them getting the results of what we want, right?
yes.
That is when it gets exciting.
Yo, do you see we're already into it? But just a few steps back, Marie, I know you as Marie. I know you've spoken about bookability, you've spoken about a lot of things, but today I want you to introduce yourself. Who is Marie? Like the woman, this gorgeous woman sitting next to me. Who is she? Who are you?
That is the most important question any of us can ask of ourselves. Who am I?
Yeah.
And so I love to be asked it in this context, because what I can truly say is who I am is still in progress. I am a work in progress, and I hope it's going to stay that way. But one of the points that we've connected on earlier is in that whole bookability concept, where we spoke about if you want to be known in the world, if you want to make an impact, and if you want your message to carry, people need to know who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Who you are, what you do, and who you do it for.
Again, who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Hey.
So, who am I? What do I do? And who do I do it for? My name is Marie Leroux, and there's a reason why they call me the media strategy Mafia Boss, because like any good mafia, there are secrets about media and about communicating and sharing those secrets with the people who want to make an impact in the world with their visionary message. That is what I do. And those are the people I do it for, really visionaries, people who have something of value to share. People like you, and I think like your Babokhedi, right?
Babokhedi, yes, yes. Wow, I am going to look into my phone because I need to be careful. I want to suck everything out of you. So I'm going to look into my phone. Why do you think, like, your message, I know that you have a message. I want you to maybe in a sentence say a message, and why do you think that that is important to the women? Since we are dealing with women, why do you think what you're about to say is important to the women?
I have one sentence. All right. My visionary message is that your visionary message matters. And the reason why this is so important to women is because we are very often silenced, whether it is by society, by the things that people tell us, or even just the biological reality of being a woman that can hold us back, or the roles that we need to play. So many women find themselves early in life maybe becoming a mother, or becoming a mother without even having children, becoming a mother to other people in our lives, becoming a caregiver. And these kind of roles can sometimes make our voice very quiet. But it's so important to know your visionary message matters, especially for women.
Sure. Wow. As you are talking, I'm thinking when you're talking about women being silenced, and I'm taking it back to who you are, like the Mafia Boss. I really want you to maybe take us through, like, when we think about bosses, people think that because women are our bosses, they are trying to be bossy. You know, then you spoke about women being silenced. So I want you to merge the two thoughts together, like women being silenced. And that's what we have pulled back because the society has kind of silenced the women. And this is generalizing, but yes. And then we have you sitting here as the Mafia Boss. The two terms together, mafia and boss, in one sentence. So I really want you to talk to women like surrounding that, like women who have been silenced. And for you, when you tapped into this, it's not just the title. You are a Mafia Boss because you give back. You know, you are really impactful in what you do. I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
What a fascinating question, KK.
Yes.
So, when it comes to going from being silenced into stepping into being a boss, the big secret about really being a boss is that we're not the boss of anybody else.
Ooh.
But we need to be the boss of ourselves. That self-mastery is really where it begins. And self-mastery begins with answering that wonderful question, who am I? And when we begin to understand more deeply who we are, we develop that authority. And then we don't have to be bossy over other people.
Love that.
But people rather begin to feel, well, this is somebody who speaks with authority. This is a boss.
Hey.
But the boss of herself. And when we come into positions where we need to lead, like some of those caregiver roles, if you're a mother, you are leading, right? You're a boss of something, but you need to be the boss of yourself first. And by that, you demonstrate, you model to the other people in your world, whether it's your siblings, your children, your family, your community, or maybe your employees. Maybe you're that kind of a boss. That is the way that you really bring out leadership. And the big secret is when you become the boss of yourself, you actually begin to lead people into that.
Wow.
You can't go and be the boss of other people until you've started here. But when you do start here, you bring that out in other people. And when you bring out their being the boss of themselves, whoa, watch out, magic will happen.
Sure. That is like, that's a lot. As it is, like, you've just given me like a huge meal. I'm trying to think, okay, should I start with the salad? Should I start with the steak? Should I start with
Eat the dessert first.
The dessert first. You know, I'm thinking, what is that now? So, Here's another thing. I had a thought, and as you were talking, like you mentioned that, like women, there's a lot of pressure. Women are under a lot of pressure to do so many things. You know, we are professionals. We have to be caregivers. There's just so many things that we need to do as women. And in Setswana, there's this saying that says, "Mosadi tshwara thipa ka fo bogaleng," meaning a woman holds the knife on the sharp side. And you know, imagine like yes, because I know yes, it's like painful, but I understand it's because women, we will do anything, we will rise. You know, when a single mother has a woman has a child and maybe they don't have a partner, they will do whatever it takes to feed that child. You know what I mean? But you are a woman who works, like you have this personal brand. Let's talk about personal brand. What is personal branding? Like, we can easily be branded like, that's single women, you know? And I'm not talking only as like in culture or anything, like it can even be in business, like personal branding. Instead of a person coming to you and say, you are that person who only has 1,000. You are that person who's only a single mother. You are that person who lives in a one-bedroomed place. That's not who you are, like you were saying. Who are you? You just said that. You just spoke about it. Like, it's important for someone to know who they are. Who am I? And why do you do what you do, you know? And so I'm just thinking about personal branding in terms of that as well. Like, we've been branded. It has become personal. Like, KK is this person by the society or people surrounding. So, but I want you to come in with your genius of knowing what exactly personal branding is, instead of allowing the labels. Those are just labels that go around. Yeah. Personal branding.
Fascinating. And you know, you just put a new layer onto that, who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, because there's another important question you mentioned there, and that is the why. But let's go back to that word, branding. So we get that word from cattle farming. So the farmers would put a brand, a hot iron onto the cattle with a mark to say, this is my cow.
I did not know that. And my grandparents used to do that, but I didn't know it's called branding.
There you go. So, shh. There's the brand. So it's a brutal phrase, and I actually don't like it. But it does represent something that's important out there. And you mentioned something here, which is really about the labels that we get from the outside. What do people perceive? Now, what if we can take this brutal branding and on the other hand, we can move beyond this idea of what people are going to think, and we say, who am I? We decide what that is. So I actually love to think of more than a personal brand. What if we can think about our personal and even our professional fingerprint? Because that is already so unique that if you commit a crime, people are going to know who committed it, right? Because of your fingerprint. It's that unique. It's that reliable. It's that you, and you cannot change it, right? That is how unique it is. So that personal and professional fingerprint is really about what is the essence of you that does not change, and to really understand that we really need to ask at a deep level, who am I? And then what do I do? Who do I do it for? But so deeply at the core of that, why do I do it? What matters to me? What are my values? What drives me? And what is my purpose ultimately in the world? And I think that is like a divine calling that is planted in the hearts of every one of us. And if you ever hear that call deep in your soul of, but this is the thing that I'm meant to do, that is a core part of your personal branding. And I know that KK, you have been hearing that call and stepping way outside of your comfort zone, not even with a toe, but with like huge, big steps. And with those huge, big steps that you've been taking, you actually have sharpened that personal brand or personal fingerprint, because it is already there inside you. When we are clear on that, and we can wash away all the dirt, the dust of society's conditioning, of our experiences, of the things that have hurt us in life. Then we get through to something that's very clear. And when we can express that, that is when people sit up and they take notice.
Oh.
And that is also when we get through to that really being a boss, really being an authority, because there's nobody who can compare to you, and your fingerprint is recognizable anywhere. It's uniquely yours. And the truth is, it's not a matter of changing or even developing or growing. It's a matter of refining. And yes, we evolve as we go through that process. But the truth is, it's already there.
Wow. I like the term that you just mentioned. It's not about changing, it's about refining. Like, that caught my attention. I'm thinking, I don't want to let this go. Because most of the time we're thinking growth is just about, the drastic change. Like, I don't want this couch. I don't want this couch in my sitting room. I'm going to have a 2-seater and that's it, because somebody came and commented about my couch and that's it. I'm going to change and have a 2-seater. So we don't think about the redefine, like a leather couch. You're thinking I'm going to have a leather couch. We'll never think of, okay, go to the people that can actually help you and just redefine.
That's it.
The
Reupholster.
Upholstery, right?
Reupholster your couch.
Yes, so I love that. I like using examples like that, because most of the time we think in change in the sense of, I need to let go of everything else, like who the KK has been for the... Let's say if you are 18, you are thinking, I need to let go of who this person, I have been for the last 17 years. And you are not thinking, it's about refining, redefining, like refining. Like, I think you and there's a gentleman called Ian. You and Ian has really helped me. I love having this conversation because you didn't force me to change. You didn't say, let go of this wholly. You kept asking me questions, exactly what you are asking. Who are you? Who am I? The three things. Who am I? What you... I forgot what you do.
You do it
and
for.
who you do it for. These are the things that they repeatedly said to me. And I think those three things, please get them imprinted in your thoughts, in your heart, and write them down and ask yourself questions. Get a paper, write it down. Don't fear to write it down. This is the advice that I got. After you write it down, you'll see how many things that the society has influenced you on, and you'll be able to remove those things, refine. Take a thing, remove whatever that is not needed to make you who you are. Who am I as a woman? Who are you? Even besides as a woman, who are you? Then who are you as a woman? I'm excited. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to hop into another conversation. There is a Professional Speakers Association. Those of you who don't know, you'll go Google it. They'll thank me later for a free advertisement, but it's fine. We attended a meeting and I hopped in joy because you mentioned this word, but I don't want to say in a sentence. The known. What is this known? And what do we need to know? Yes.
Such a great question. So, of course, the context of that, if you're not familiar with the Professional Speakers Associations, the Professional Speakers Associations around the world support speakers to become better at what they do and really hone their craft. And so the theme of this presentation was bookability and why that is so important for a speaker, because if you want to be on stage, you need to get booked. But the truth is, all of us need to get booked in some way or another, whether you're a speaker or you run your own business, or even if you just are looking for a job. But in life, we also have people that we want to book us. We want people to believe in us. We want people to become our friends. We want people to support our causes, and we want people who are going to be close to really become our nearest and dearest in the world. So we all need that bookability, but to be booked, you need to be known. And that being known is about being known for that who you are, what you do and who you do it for, but really that people will have the motivation and the belief to book you, whether that means getting booked for a speech, getting a new job, or even finding friends, finding partners, finding supporters in the world. So to be known, what do you need? Well, the first thing is you need to know for yourself. So getting the answer to that question, who am I? And then being confident in knowing yourself, exploring yourself, discovering yourself, and growing. So you kind of grow into who you truly are, into that fingerprint. And when that is there, people will know you and they will remember you. And as the time is right, they will follow you, support you, and they will recommend you.
Oh, wow. Sure. You said a lot. Known. You have got to be it is important to be known.
And now you know.
Now you know. I don't usually do this, but I feel like if there's a page that you want to share, like just one page where people can reach you, I want to do it now before I forget. Like just where people can reach you, where they can say, okay, you spoke about known, but maybe it was short in this podcast.
Yes.
Where can I reach this wonderful lady? So I want people to be known. So here we go. Where can someone young, or anyone, by the way, and someone young who is still like, okay, I want to be known. I want to be known. I don't feel like I'm known. I just finished school, or I don't know what to study. I don't know if people are gonna know me out there, if people even want to know me, but they're thinking, okay, I want to be known. So where can people reach you? What is the best place so far?
The one very best place to find me and for you to be known is perhaps on a platform that not everybody uses, but I would so strongly recommend that you do follow it, and that is LinkedIn.
Wow.
So you will find me on LinkedIn, and the easiest way to do that is just Google Marie Leroux or Marie Leroux Media Strategy Mafia Boss, and you will find that on LinkedIn. And if you don't have a LinkedIn account, open one. Because if you want to get known in the world, there is no more powerful place to do that. LinkedIn is more than a social media platform. It is a social media platform that has accountability, it has respectability and authority, and it's a place where you can build your career and have positive interactions with people. There's no fighting and backbiting. Everybody has their professional face on there, and it's an incredibly powerful platform, whether you want to share videos, blogs, events. It can do all those things for you. And if you want to get started in the world out there, if you have a LinkedIn page, you don't even need a website. It can do that much for you. But that is the place to follow me. And from my page, you can easily find a lot of these resources so that you can get known.
And she's not just saying it, guys. I remember I was at your place and you said, KK, you need to get your LinkedIn done. That's where people are going to find you. And I'm living in that testament. I don't know. She's not just saying this words. It's not just words. She is saying her heart. She's saying the life that she's leading. She's not just Mafia Boss for nothing. You know that thing they do not call me. Yes, but she's not called Mafia Boss for nothing. She's media. Like I'm thinking media. I'm thinking all these sorts of things. Like I'm thinking media, personal branding, bookability. Like I want to be booked. I know you spoke about being known. I want to be booked. I'm on LinkedIn, but it seems like I'm not being booked. Like how do I get booked? Yes, I'm known. Like it's like I'm out there. Yes, I just took my information and I put it on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I took my information, I put it out there. what should I look like to be booked? You know, I'm saying what should I look like because those are thoughts that we think of. What should I look like to be booked? You know, bookability. You want to be booked.
Yes.
I want to be booked. The young people want to be booked with whatever that you have, the craft that you have, the gift that you have. They want to be booked.
That is such a fantastic question. One of the things that you will find if you go to my LinkedIn page is actually a little mini course that is open and free. It's on YouTube. So you can literally go to my LinkedIn page and find more tips about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So if you want to use LinkedIn for that, that is a great place to go and do that. Get your LinkedIn profile perfectly sorted.
Get your LinkedIn profile sorted.
But then, how do you turn that media into money? Right?
Nice one. Say that again.
Yes, how do we go from media to money? And that is a process because for anybody who wants to be booked, whether it's as a speaker or a coach or even just to find a new job, it's easy to start and just jump on people and say, "Hi, I've got this service, come and book me." Now imagine when somebody does that to you, how do you feel?
Overwhelmed. Who's this person? Stranger? Are they for real? Am I going to waste my...
Leave me alone, right?
Yes.
So you might at best feel overwhelmed. That's because you're really polite. Some people will just be very annoyed.
Okay.
So it's not a good way. It's really interesting that selling doesn't sell. There are even people who have this lovely saying that when you sell, you repel. Right. And when we start with that, it is a very, very downward spiral. It's the bells of doom. However, you don't want to not use the opportunity to take those people that you do encounter to where they can book you one day. But how many steps are there in between along the way? We often hear that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And I think the bar has been raised recently, and we do business with people we know, love, and trust.
Wow.
That's a lot to ask, right? Because to get to know you, that's one thing. You've introduced yourself. But now how long does it take until I trust you? Well, it could happen really quickly like this. But I'm probably going to need something along the way. And one way to learn to trust people is just by showing what it is that you do. Without pushing it on them with a price tag or a buy now button. Instead, sharing from your heart. That's part of your fingerprint, right? That gift that you have to share. And you are doing it right now.
Oh.
So something like just showing what your knowledge is, demonstrating, sharing your gift and serving. Now that is really, really powerful. So that is the first step. Get people to know you, so introduce yourself or get known, and then build their trust so that they like you and they can love you. And as you have that trust growing and growing, then there are open doors along the way where there is, and by the way, this weekend, I'll be hosting a workshop. Why don't you come and join me? And that first workshop might not be a very expensive one. It's one that's affordable enough that people can buy a ticket at a really good budget, the price of maybe a cup of coffee, but they join you and you start to get a little bit of interest from them because they voted with their wallet. And then you give them more value, serve them more, blow their minds with what it is that you offer. And it's also important to remember, not everybody is going to be your client.
Yes.
And very often that pushy, salesy approach can turn people away who would have really loved you. So really building that know and like to love, to trust process is big, because then you start to see, and it might take time, that people come back to you and they say, you know, last year I saw you make this presentation, KK. And I now have a need for it. Because maybe they don't need you at that time, or maybe they don't have the budget, or maybe they're just not sure yet. But now you have this opportunity that you actually are known, you are loved, you are trusted. And not only that, that person might not be your client, but if they love you, they will recommend you.
Oh.
And that is how it grows. So the bad news is it's not a flash in the pan concept. Usually if something is quick, it might not be sustainable. But if you can build that process slowly and as the time is right, then you may well see the results coming to you in time.
Wow. As you're talking, I'm just thinking, I really hope this reaches, before I even go to the youth, I really wish this reaches a lot of us as women, because we shy away from opportunities. We really do shy away from opportunities. So when we hear a person, like a woman sitting and saying, I'm a boss mafia, or mafia boss, I'm saying other way around. We're thinking, what do they do to get there? Like, what do they have to do? I can't do this. All these things that they are saying, all these things that you are saying, I believe that you are working in them. Do you understand? You made yourself known. You put yourself out there, and you had to work so that there is trust. I think sometimes we think trust is it just comes. I see you, then I trust you. But it's built, right? It's a process. So I would say it's an encouragement to women. Trust is earned. It is true that really trust is earned. And I know most of us as women, we can easily step on each other. I recently listened to one podcast where they were actually talking about that as women, we can actually press each other down. Like, we don't want other women to, go up with us. So she said, trust. So it's not even about trusting another guy and trusting another person or trusting another boss in another company. Build the trust with the women. Build together with other women that you know. Even in the society where there's no finances or any of the sort resources, build the trust with the women around you and build together. Build together and make yourself known. Known when you are done. I think we used to have this growing up, like the women would come together and they give each other money, a certain amount of money. Society, I don't know what it's called in English. So people bargain, like they put money together or stuff together. Stokvel.
Yeah.
It's stokvel, you're right.
We need an English word for that. We don't have anything better than that. Yeah.
So stokvel, I think
that's trust.
Stokvel, like we took stokvel, and maybe yes, somebody misused stokvel, and now we're thinking it doesn't work, but working together, building together, it works. Like building that trust as women. I think sitting here we are building,
And it's an ongoing process.
Yes, I love that.
Because we could break that trust any moment.
Yes.
So that is something that it is a process and it never really ends. It's like our growth as humans.
Wow.
But I love that you took the conversation there. There's just one more point. There's one more point that I think is worth considering if we're thinking about being booked before we moved on. And that is a very confrontational question that might make people very uncomfortable. So I'm not going to ask you because we're building trust. I'm going to ask your audience and say this. If you want to get booked and you are doing all these things, you're out there, you're getting known, you're getting loved, you're getting trusted, you're building the relationships, and you're hoping that you can get booked. Here's my question for you. Are you ready to get booked? If somebody wants to book you, do you have a proposal, a package, something that you can give them right away? A pricing list, perhaps, a rate card, so that they actually can take action. Because if you don't, you might find yourself where you lose that opportunity because you're so busy scrambling or freaking out. So get those things ready and you'll be amazed. The universe is listening. When you get those things ready, you'll see that the opportunity comes to use them.
I feel like I'm going to say, I'm a living testament of what she's saying. She's not just saying this, she helped me a lot. You know, remember the day, one time, we were sitting and you said, KK, I believe in you. You looked me in the eyes and you said, KK, I believe in you. I trust in your work. My question is, I was actually telling Ian the other day, I said, she looked at me and she said, my question is, are you ready? And then I thought, if I was to get booked right now and then somebody else books me and then the other person books me, am I ready? Am I prepared? I had to go back and jot down things on paper. And it works. It works. This podcast is a fruit of such conversations. It works. To women. Men, it's not only for men. Women, let's rise. Let's rise. We're having this conversation to say, let's rise. Let's build our relationships on the trust foundation. Let's ask the people. Let's ask if you need anything related to media. Go on LinkedIn. Marie, she's open. As you can see, she's open. The approach, say, yes, I need your help. Be vulnerable, be open. Just be you and say, yes, I need help. I need to grow in this area. And Conversations with Kay is a result of many such conversations of what we're having right now. Marie, before we go, what's new? What are we looking forward to? Like, I know you and writing and getting in your computer. Like, yes, we talk bookability, we're talking media. You are a woman. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something because you are a woman you are packaged. I don't even know what to say. So, but you are a woman who jots down things. You have ideas. You are a visionary. You know, like that one I don't even miss to say. You are a visionary. You know, so what's new? What's on the pipeline? What should we look forward to? I feel like I'm smelling a book. I'm somewhere.
Do you smell that?
You know, from bookability. Bookability
A
has
bookable book. A bookable book. So I'm sure you are really good at reading body language and you see something is happening there. Yes. So I recently had a very exciting announcement to share. And that is that I have taken the plunge to do something I thought I'd never do. I thought I'd never get around to. And I thought, this is too difficult. And, maybe that's not me. And it is to write a book. But it's not just any book, because I won't be writing this book alone. I'll be writing this book with my partner, Ian Hatton, that you've been hearing of here, who is the founder of Totally Morpheus, and he liberates leaders. He has been facilitating leadership development around the world for many years, and he recently released his first book, Lead Like Morpheus. And since we've been involved in this close partnership that started in business and moved into a much closer personal relationship, we thought, well, maybe it's time to write the book Love Like Morpheus. And that book we actually recorded with out in nature, in the bush, with a camera behind us. We outlined the book, we plonked down a video camera, and we just had a conversation like this, talking about the different parts of the book. So we'll be releasing the book first with a kind of a little drip feed of a little section of the book by section of the book on video. And then we'll be releasing the book, launching it on the 12th of December, the 12th of the 12th of 2024 at 12 noon South African time, which is also our wedding day. So we are very, very excited about that. And that is what is on the horizon. I think you smell right.
Like, smell right, like
That's it. It
now,
smells good.
Now you know there is a book coming up Love like Morpheus. Like, it's not just love, just it's meaty. I know I've been loved with information, knowledge. There are genius brains, everything. They're going to love you up in that book. I have a copy of Lead Like Morpheus, but hey, let me hold back because I want the owner to come here as well. I want him to come here as well. But this has been such an amazing conversation, and I really hope people will start to reach out, just based on this, like to realize that we don't know everything as we ought to know it. And what you just said about the story of writing a book, I love that you said that you didn't think that you would do this. It's a step that you didn't think you would, go into, and you did. You did it. You did it, and people are gonna be learning from that book because you did it. If we don't take steps into things that we are so gently afraid, I'm gonna say gently afraid of, then people are not going to learn from us. So we are learning from you because you are taking those steps.
Scary steps.
Yes.
Scary steps.
Yes.
I will be the first to admit that. I'm scared too.
Yes, she's scared too, guys. So it's okay to be scared.
It's not courage if you weren't scared.
Yes. So what would be your last words to, first, the women, like based on your in your field of media and branding, personal branding, and just the new book, like your work as a woman, in business and in what you do as well. But what would be your last words to women? And then when you are done with the women, I don't know how to leave my young people out. To the young Marie out there who's sitting and listening to this podcast and thinking, will I ever get there to call myself, I'm a boss lady? Because they will be thinking boss lady. Can I ever say boss lady to myself? So, yeah.
What a wonderful question. And this time I can be really economical and give you a short answer, because for both those groups, the best thing you can do is ask yourself this incredibly important question. The topic of this show.
Oh.
Who am I? And when you answer that question, you'll find the keys to all these things.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. It has really been amazing to have you here. I feel like I'm not done, but I should actually stop here. Do you have other last words? No, I should stop. I'm trying to get everything out of you in one episode.
We're waiting for the
enjoying
next
it.
season. Next season we can do it again. We'll have whole new things to
Yes.
share.
I need to be naughty though. At the end, this is what I thought. This is what I wrote. I have to look for it. I wrote this, and I'm going to read it out because I didn't memorize it. We just had the best conversation about communication, personal branding, and media strategy. Remember, it is important to be known. Thank you so much, Marie. This has been such a pleasant and amazing. Like, I love that you bring joy and excitement into corporate. You know how it is, like corporate, you're thinking we should suit up and everything. You bring such a joy, and somebody who's looking there thinking, yes, I can go into corporate. It's actually fun. Some people are probably thinking that now. So thank you so much. With that being said, is there anything you'd like to close with?
Yes. About that Love Like Morpheus book, you're going to get the link in the description to my LinkedIn profile, and there I'll be sharing how you can get your hands on a free copy of the ebook version of Love Like Morpheus on launch day. So, and you can get a bit of a sneak peek as the book develops. So if that's something you'd like to do, Love Like Morpheus is about a whole lot more than just the love you might have thought of. It's the one that really takes you there and answers that question. Who am I? So do follow up on that LinkedIn link, and I'll see you there. KK, thank you so much. What a pleasure.
What a pleasure. I'm looking at you. glowing and just, saying this with such ease and joy. You're such a joyful person. I think I always say a lot of words to you, like you're a genius. You're a genius. I'm sitting with a genius. Ladies, Babukedi, Bakhaeto, thank you so much. First, Marie, once again for joining me on this beautiful conversation and letting us and teaching us how to be known. So from me, Kakanyo, your host, it is a goodbye till we meet again on the next episode of Who Am I as a Woman. Goodbye.